Goldberg was able to negotiate a salary for Sister Act 2 back in the habit between an estimated $7 million and $12 million, making Goldberg the highest paid actress in Hollywood at the time. In 2007, she joined The View as moderator and panelist alongside creator Barbara Walters, Joy Behar, Sherry Shepard, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. In a 2016 report from Variety, Goldberg's one-year contract was estimated to be worth between $5 million and $6 million.
Yeah, you work for a living, but you're not a working class American. There's a difference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just.
What's up, everyone? In this clip, we are diving into a heated critique of Whoopi Goldberg's bizarre self-comparison to working class Americans, assertion that's as disconnected as it is laughable. Kasparian picks apart Goldberg's claims with brutal efficiency, spotlighting her wealth, privilege, and tone deafness. But does Anna stick the landing, or is there some hypocrisy lurking in her own argument? Let's break this down and call out the nonsense where it lies. Let's get into it.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living.
Do you? All right, well, the ladies of The View are still trying to figure out what went wrong in the presidential election, with some still rejecting the idea that Democrats abandoning working class Americans certainly did not help their cause. Definitely hurt them in this election. What's even more interesting is how Whoopi Goldberg, someone who is worth tens of millions of dollars, views herself as a working class American. Let's take a look.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here.
Let's pause here because this statement reeks of absurdity. Whoopi, you are a multi-millionaire claiming relatability to paycheck Americans. It's kind of insulting. You're not showing up on The View out of necessity. You're there because it's lucrative and it keeps you relevant. This is millionaire cosplay, plain and simple. Let's be real. Nobody worth upwards of 50 million is working for a living in the way they think.
Okay? So I'm a working person, you know? And my kid has to feed her family. You know, and my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there, but I also know that there are a lot of things that we just said, no, I'm just gonna go this way.
Right.
And a lot of that is also what happened. I love what she did, yay, you know? We talk to people all the time who say, this is what's bothering me. But the thing that's bothering everybody should not be the thing that puts 85% of other people in danger.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're saying.
By the way, make sure to leave your thoughts or opinions down in the comments below. This is a place for discussion. Also, be sure to give us a like and subscribe. Really helps out the channel. Let's get back into it.
I think the 60% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck already feel that they have been in danger.
Yeah. So, but she knows, Anna.
Right,
she knows.
right.
Now, look, does she work for a living? Yeah, she does. She's a talk show host. That's working for a living.
Super hard work.
Okay, that's what we do. And by the way, sometimes it is hard work.
No, it is hard work. Okay, we don't just come on the show and like talk out of our asses. Like
now, she has like 100 producers and one of 5 hosts. Like I've done that kind of show before, and it's super easy. But anyway, but I'm not taking that away from her. My point is, Whoopi, you can't say like you work for a living and then I know your pain, etc., as if you're a person who isn't spectacularly wealthy. You have to at least acknowledge, look guys, I get it. I'm wealthy and I used to be poor, but I haven't been poor in a long, long time. But you know, here's the ways that I could relate. Just be honest about it, no problem, right? But when you make it seem like you're barely getting by and you're worried about feeding your grandkids.
Come on.
Come on.
No, she made it seem like she's struggling and that she has no choice but to, you know, really pick herself up every day.
Whoopi's self-victimization undermines actual struggles faced by working Americans. The average person doesn't have the luxury of relocating to a multi-million-dollar home or negotiating multi-million-dollar contracts. This Me Too Working Class Edition Act is ridiculous, and Anna nails this hypocrisy even if her delivery starts to border on smugness.
And just head over to work, and it's like a lot of manual labor. Like the way she carried herself in that segment was ridiculous. And look, we don't know exactly how much she's worth. I want to be clear about that. There are some articles that keep citing celebrity net worth, which makes me want to pull my hair out of my head.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Guys, that's based on nothing. Like people who believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a private citizen. She's not a public employee. So her earnings are not public information, but we can put some bits and pieces of what's been reported in the past together to figure out she's not a working class American, okay? So Goldberg was able to negotiate a salary for Sister Act 2 back in the habit between an estimated $7 million and $12 million, making Goldberg the highest paid actress in Hollywood at the time. In 2007, she joined The View as moderator and panelist alongside creator Barbara Walters, Joy Behar, Sherry Shepard, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. In a 2016 report from Variety, Goldberg's one-year contract was estimated to be worth between $5 million and $6 million.
Yeah, you work for a living, but you're not a working class American. There's a difference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just, look, my point is, you don't understand what it's like to be a struggling American who's concerned about their financial stability. You get what I'm saying? Like
100%. No, look, we've covered The View a lot, unfortunately. And so the two things she said are just not remotely true. Which she's, about being a working class American. She said, Me Too. I guess maybe that's the new Me Too movement for rich people on TV. Look, oh, working class, me too, me too. Come on, guys, come on. It insults our intelligence, right? But the second thing she said near the end there, if I understood it right, was she was saying, well, we talk to people all the time that disagree.
This claim about The View being open-minded is pure fiction. They rarely invite right-wing populists or progressives who challenge establishment Democrats. Instead, they present a carefully curated echo chamber where dissent is tokenized or squashed. Claiming they talk to people who disagree is nothing more than a PR stunt, and viewers know it.
I mean, I get it that you have you have the former Trump people, etc. But there are now never Trumpers have flipped and are on your side, and they gently bring up some points that other people might be thinking, etc. And then everybody yells, etc. But have you really brought on like a right-wing populist to hash out the issues? No way. Do you accept criticism within the Democratic Party, let's say from progressives or populists?
Oh, definitely not.
Oh my God,
definitely
no way.
Not. Yeah.
Like they're famous for telling everyone in the Democratic Party, shut up and accept Biden, accept Kamala Harris, accept Hillary Clinton, bow your head. That's mainly what The View does. So that's why it insults our intelligence and it's just offensive, but forget offensive, it's annoying for her to say like, oh, we talk to people all the time, we're so open-minded. Come on,
look,
Whoopi.
In fact, it seemed like The View, like we hadn't been covering The View all that much prior to the election because it got boring. It seemed like they mostly agreed on everything. But it is interesting to see how conflict has increased on that show following the outcome of the election, because Sunny Hostin especially does not want to accept that Democrats lost due to the fact that they have abandoned the working class. She's like totally in la la land about it, and so is Whoopi Goldberg, but Sunny Hostin's on another level, okay? But anyway, putting that aside, I'm gonna just give you a little more information because I wanna juxtapose the kind of life Whoopi Goldberg lives and what average Americans are struggling with right now. So let's go to graphic 4 here. After landing her gig on The View, Goldberg relocated back to New York City, where she bought a full floor loft in Soho for $4 million.
Me too, she knows. She knows the working class.
She sold the 2-bedroom apartment in 2010 during the economic crash, of course, for just under $3 million, so she lost there. But in a search for more privacy, she moved to the New Jersey suburbs, purchasing a $2.8 million mansion in the gated community. Okay, so that's
in New Jersey, $2.8 million will buy you a castle.
Okay, so that's the kind of life she's lived and has been living. In the meantime, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York just came out with new data in regard to consumer debt, which is at an all-time high of $17.9 trillion.
Let's pause here because this data underscores the stark reality most Americans face, one Goldberg is completely detached from. The growing debt crisis, soaring delinquency rates, and stagnant wages tell a story Whoopi can't pretend to live. While Anna hammers home the stats, she's right to emphasize the gulf between reality and Goldberg's delusions of working class solidarity.
okay? Credit card balances increased by $24 billion to $1.17 trillion as a record 600 million accounts are now open. Auto loan balances rose $18 billion to $1.64 trillion. Further, student loan balances grew by $21 billion to a record $1.61 trillion. And look, people are taking out lines of credit, they're maxing out their credit cards because they are struggling, okay? And since wages aren't keeping up with inflation, that is also leading to delinquencies. So let's look at that. Delinquency rates have also edged up from the previous quarter. About 126,000 consumers had a bankruptcy notation added to their credit reports in the third quarter, just the third quarter alone. Overall, 3.5% of outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency, up from 3.2% in the second quarter. So look, I give you guys that data because no, Whoopi, you're not in the same camp as the people who are frustrated and angry about the fact that they see less and less opportunity to build wealth in this country, and even worse, less and less opportunity to stay afloat when it comes to their personal finances.
So let me add one last thing here. Think about it. What are they most animated about, especially Sonny, but almost all of them? Racial issues, right? They're like, oh, race matters a lot. Okay, they love identity politics. Well, because racial issues would affect them, right? But and then liberal policies that they love, that would affect them, so they're very animated by it. But the economic issues don't affect them at all. They have to theoretically find a way to care if they look up the numbers, and maybe my granddaughter will run out of money in several, decades from now.
This is where they really land the punch. Goldberg and others on The View don't feel economic pain of regular Americans, so they ignore it. Instead, they lean into identity politics because it's closer to their reality. And while those issues matter, it's clear they dodge what doesn't touch their dated community lives. The Young Turks' critique of this selective outrage is pretty spot on.
Right? I mean, they have to stretch and stretch to try to find a common bond. Since those issues are not important to them, but the other issues are, they focus on these issues instead of those.
100%, yep.
And that's the point we're making here. We're not saying like, oh, ha, ha, they're rich, so that's bad. No, they earn their money in all different ways. I don't begrudge that, right? I'm just saying, guys, you're so out of touch with the average American.
Exactly.
And you don't know it. And that's why it feels like it almost feels like you're rubbing it in our face when you say that.
And I know they don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I do think that for people who deliver the news or discuss or analyze what's happening in the country, it's a big problem when you look at pretty much every news organization and realize a lot of these people went to Ivy Leagues. A lot of these people come from affluent families. A lot of these people are totally disconnected from the vast majority of Americans and the struggles they face.
Kasparian's takedown of Goldberg is scathing, but not without its own blind spots. While Anna's critique of Whoopi's delusion is accurate, it's worth noting how often this smug tone turns off the very audience it aims to educate. Still, when it comes to exposing tone-deaf hypocrisy, Anna wins this round. Whoopi Goldberg's idea of working class, it's the biggest joke on daytime TV, and that's saying something. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts or opinions down in the comments below if you agree or disagree with a lot of the points made here. Also, be sure to give us a like and subscribe, really helps out the channel, and we'll see you guys in the next one.